Shahrah-e-Faisal, a Karachi artery pulsing with life by day, a desolate, echoing cavern by night. As the sun dips below the horizon, the vibrant energy of the day dissipates, leaving behind an eerie silence that blankets the road. The air grows thick with an unseen energy after midnight. It's as if the very atmosphere is charged with a mysterious force, making the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. Shadows stretch and twist, playing tricks on the weary traveler. The dim streetlights cast long, distorted silhouettes that seem to move of their own accord, creating an unsettling dance of light and dark. This is where the veil between realities thins, where the boundary between the known and the unknown becomes almost imperceptible. The highway transforms into a liminal space, a threshold between worlds, where the living and the dead sometimes meet. Stories of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena have been whispered among locals for decades, adding to the road's sinister reputation. This is where Imran Sheikh, a man who scoffed at ghost stories, had his terrifying encounter. Imran, a pragmatic man with a scientific mind, always dismissed tales of the supernatural as mere superstition. It began on a night like any other, the humid air heavy with the threat of rain. The sky was overcast, and the oppressive heat of the day lingered, making the atmosphere feel thick and suffocating. Imran, a firm believer in logic and reason, found himself driving home along the deserted highway. The road was unusually empty, and the only sound was the hum of his car's engine and the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Little did he know, he was about to become part of a legend himself. As he drove deeper into the night, the familiar surroundings began to take on a sinister quality. The once comforting glow of the streetlights now seemed cold and distant, casting eerie shadows that flickered and danced in the periphery of his vision. Imran's grip on the steering wheel tightened as an inexplicable sense of dread washed over him. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, that unseen eyes were following his every move. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he caught a glimpse of something in the rearview mirror. A shadowy figure, barely discernible, seemed to be sitting in the back seat. His heart raced as he quickly turned to look, but the back seat was empty. Panic set in, and Imran's foot pressed harder on the accelerator. The car sped up, but the sense of being pursued only grew stronger. The shadows outside seemed to close in, and the air inside the car felt colder, as if an unseen presence had joined him. As he approached a bend in the road, Imran's mind raced with thoughts of escape. He knew he had to get off the highway to find safety in the familiar streets of the city, but the road ahead seemed to stretch on endlessly, a never-ending path into the unknown. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the distant glow of the city lights came into view. Imran's heart began to steady as he left the haunted highway behind, but the memory of that night would haunt him forever. He had become a part of the legend, a living testament to the eerie tales of Shahrah-e-Faisal. Imran Sheikh was not a man easily spooked. A no-nonsense businessman, he prided himself on his rationality. Ghosts and spirits were nothing more than folklore, stories told to frighten children, or so he thought. He'd heard the whispers, of course. The tales of a ghostly white car haunting Shahrah-e-Faisal were common, but Imran dismissed them as superstition. He'd driven this road countless times late at night. Nothing had ever happened, until now. It was past 2 a.m. when Imran first saw it in his rearview mirror. A vintage white car, its headlights casting an unnatural, almost ethereal glow. The car was gaining on him, its engine eerily silent despite its speed. Imran felt a chill crawl down his spine. There was something deeply unsettling about the vehicle. He sped up, trying to shake off the unsettling feeling, but the car kept pace, gliding effortlessly alongside him. Imran's heart pounded in his chest. He dared a glance at the driver's seat. It was empty. Terror, raw and primal, flooded Imran's senses. His foot slammed on the accelerator. The engine roared, but the white car remained beside him, a ghostly apparition refusing to be left behind. The silence from the car was deafening. No engine noise, no tires on asphalt, just the phantom glow of its headlights in his peripheral vision. A wave of dizziness washed over him. The world seemed to tilt, the highway stretching before him like a nightmarish carnival ride. His mind, struggling to comprehend the impossible, screamed at him to escape. Section 5. Vanishing Act and Reappearance. And then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the car vanished. It was as if the night had swallowed it whole, leaving no trace behind. The road was empty again, shrouded in darkness and mystery. Imran slammed on the brakes, his chest heaving. His heart pounded like a drum in his chest, each beat echoing the terror that gripped him. He could hardly believe his eyes. One moment the car was there, and the next, it was gone. Panic surged through him, making his hands tremble on the steering wheel. Had he imagined the whole thing? He sat there for a moment, catching his breath, trying to convince himself it was just stress, fatigue playing tricks on his mind. The long hours on the road, the endless stretch of highway, it all seemed to blur together. Maybe he was just seeing things. But deep down he knew something was wrong. Very wrong. He looked in his rearview mirror, expecting to see nothing but empty road. The darkness seemed to stretch on forever, an abyss that threatened to consume him. He strained his eyes, searching for any sign of the mysterious car. But there was nothing. Just the empty road and the eerie silence of the night. He was wrong. The car was back. Out of nowhere it reappeared, as if it had materialized from the shadows. His breath caught in his throat as he stared at the vehicle in disbelief. How was this possible? Where had it come from? Questions raced through his mind, but there were no answers. Only the chilling reality of the car's sudden reappearance. It was right behind him now, its headlights illuminating the terror on his face reflected in the mirror. The bright beams cut through the darkness, casting an eerie glow on his features. He could see his own fear staring back at him, a stark reminder of the danger that lurked just behind. The car seemed to be toying with him, a predator stalking its prey. Imran knew he had to act fast, but his mind was a whirlwind of fear and confusion. What was this car, and why was it after him? The answers eluded him, but one thing was clear. He was not alone on this dark, desolate road. Section 6. The Aftermath and Local Legends. Imran doesn't remember much after that. The sheer terror short-circuited his mind. He blacked out. He woke up on the side of the road, his car spun out, facing the opposite direction. He was drenched in a cold sweat, his heart still pounding like a drum in his chest. The ghostly car was gone. He stumbled out of his car, shaken to his core. Imran, the skeptic, the man of logic, had seen something he couldn't explain. He had encountered the cursed car of Shahrah-e-Faisal. Section 7. The cursed car's origins, whispers of tragedy. The stories about the car were varied. In the bustling markets and quiet corners of the city, whispers of the cursed car spread like wildfire. Each person seemed to have their own version of the tale, each more chilling than the last. Some whispered of a tragic accident, a couple killed on their wedding night, their joy turned to sorrow in an instant. The car, once a symbol of their new beginning, became a vessel of their untimely demise. Their souls, it was said, were forever bound to the vehicle. On foggy nights, ghostly figures were seen near the car, their presence sending shivers down the spines of those who dared to look. Others spoke of a scorned lover, her heart broken by betrayal. She was said to haunt the car, her spirit seeking vengeance on those who crossed her path. Taking her revenge on unsuspecting motorists, she would appear suddenly, causing accidents and chaos. Her presence was a warning, a reminder of the pain she endured. The truth remained shrouded in mystery, adding to the chilling allure of the legend. The car, now a relic of the past, stood as a silent witness to the tragedies it had seen. Its presence under the streetlight, shrouded in mist, was a haunting sight. It was as if the car itself held the memories of those who had perished within it. Imran, forever changed by his experience, now listened to these stories with a newfound respect. He had seen things, felt things that defied logic and reason. He knew deep down that some things defied explanation. The stories, once mere tales, now held a deeper meaning for him. They were a reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead. He knew deep down that some things defied explanation. The stories, once mere tales, now held a deeper meaning for him. They were a reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead. Some stories, no matter how unbelievable, held a grain of terrifying truth. The cursed car was one such story, a legend that would continue to haunt the city for generations to come. As Imran walked away, he couldn't shake the feeling that the car was watching him, its presence a constant reminder of the tragedies it had witnessed. The whispers of tragedy would never fade, forever etched in the memories of those who dared to listen. Section 8. A warning to the curious. The cursed car of Shahrah-e-Faisal is more than just a local legend. It is a stark reminder that there are forces beyond our understanding. If you ever find yourself driving down that lonely highway late at night, and you see a pair of headlights approaching in your rearview mirror, remember Imran's story. Don't look back. Don't engage. Some mysteries are best left unsolved. Some roads are best not traveled alone at night. Section 9. Conclusion. The unseen world among us. The world is a strange and wondrous place filled with both beauty and terror. We share this world with things we may never fully understand. Sometimes these unseen forces brush against our own, leaving behind chills and questions that linger long after the encounter. The next time you find yourself alone in the dark, remember the cursed car of Shahrah-e-Faisal. And remember,